Everything you do in 3D starts with a single click. Selection. It sounds basic, right? But here is the truth. The difference between a beginner fighting the software and a pro flowing through it often comes down to how fast they can manipulate selections. Hey everyone, welcome back to 3D Skill Up. Today we are going deep into the fundamentals of Blender's selection tools. We aren't just going to learn buttons, we're going to learn the logic behind them so you can speed up your workflow. To demonstrate this, I'll be using these three game props: a gas cylinder, a vintage radio valve, and a walkie-talkie. By the way, if you want to study these models, grab the downloads or watch the full time-lapse workflows of how I modeled and textured them. Head over to 3dskillup.art or check the links in the description. Let's dive in. Let's start with the basics. Since Blender 2.8, we are in the era of left-click select. Now, selecting one object is easy, but what if we need to organize our entire scene? We need to select multiple items. To do this, simply hold down Shift and click your next object. Let's grab the vintage radio valve and finally the walkie-talkie. This is additive selection, but take a close look at the outlines. Do you notice something different? You'll see two colors here. The objects we selected first, the cylinder and the valve, have a dark orange outline, but the very last object we touched, the walkie-talkie, is glowing bright orange. This is not random. The bright orange object is your active element. In Blender, the active element is the leader of the group. Why does this hierarchy matter? It matters because we can tell Blender to use that leader as a reference point. Watch this. If I change my pivot point to active element and hit rotate, the entire group orbits around the walkie-talkie. This gives you incredible mechanical precision without needing to set up empty objects or complex rigs. Now let's reverse it. Say you selected the radio valve by mistake and want to remove just that specific object from the group without dropping the others. The logic remains the same. Hold Shift and click the object. But here is a pro tip that trips people up. Notice that the first time I shift-click it, it doesn't deselect. It just turns bright orange. That's because Blender thinks you want to make it the new active leader. To actually deselect it, you must shift-click it again. So, if the object isn't the active element yet, it takes two clicks. One to make it active and one to turn it off. Once you understand this rhythm, you'll stop fighting the software. Okay, let's talk muscle memory. You likely know that pressing A selects everything. To clear your selection, you have a few options. You can double-tap A, press Alt+A, or, my personal preference, just click in empty space. But here is a pro tip for scene management. Let's say I want to focus purely on this radio valve and everything else is in my way. Instead of manually clicking every other object to select them, I select the valve and press Ctrl+I. This inverts the selection. Now I can just press H to hide the clutter and get to work. It's a massive time saver in complex scenes. Next up is the box select, a staple for any 3D artist. You have two ways to activate this. You can grab the tool directly from the toolbar on the left, or, and this is what I recommend, you can simply press the hotkey B. This brings up the crosshairs, allowing you to draw a selection box anywhere in the viewport. But there is a logic to how Blender handles new selections that you need to master. By default, if you draw a new box, Blender thinks you are starting over. It selects the new object and drops the old one. If I select the gas cylinder and then box the radio valve, I lose the cylinder. To combine them, we use the universal rule of selection. Hold Shift. Whether you are using the toolbar or the B hotkey, holding Shift tells Blender, keep what I have and add this new object to the group. Now both props are ready for editing. Finally, what if you grabbed too much? Let's say the walkie-talkie is in the way and needs to go. With the box select active, press B, you don't need a confusing hotkey combo. Just click and drag with your middle mouse button. Instead of drawing a selection box, It draws a deselection box. It's clean, fast, and keeps your hands in one place. Now for the painter's approach. Circle select. Press C. You can scroll your mouse wheel to change the brush size. This is where a lot of new artists get frustrated in object mode. Watch this. I'm brushing right over the gas cylinder mesh, but nothing is happening. Why? Because in object mode, Blender doesn't care about the geometry. It cares about the origin point, that little orange dot. You have to paint over the origin point to grab the object. It's a different story in edit mode, but out here, aim for the dot. When you're done, right-click to drop the tool. Finally, for those organic messy selections, we have the lasso. Hold down on the select icon and choose Select Lasso. This works exactly like your standard operating system selection. Hold Shift to add to the group and Control to subtract. Again, just like the circle tool, ensure you are encompassing the origin points of your game props, or they won't get picked up. Selections might seem technical, but they are the language you use to speak to the software. The smoother you speak, the faster you create. If you want to see how these techniques apply to a full production workflow, check out the complete modeling and texturing time-lapses for these assets right here on the channel. Don't forget to visit 3dskillup.art to grab these project files and practice what you've learned today. If you found this helpful, smash that subscribe button and hit the bell. Keep creating, and I'll see you in the next video.